The February 17, 2026 meeting of the Woolwich Township Committee is being called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Publics Meeting Act. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Here.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Here.
Committeewoman Williams. Here. Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Here.
Mayor Mathias.
Here. Everyone can please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first order of business is one of my favorites, giving proclamations. And tonight we have a very special one. So Mommy, if you'd like to join me up here. So on behalf of the Woolwich Township Committee, I have this very special proclamation that I'm going to read out for everybody here. Whereas Woolwich Township proudly recognizes residents who exemplify resilience, leadership, and service to others. And whereas Mahi, a senior at Kingsway Regional High School, turned her personal health challenges into a lifelong mission to promote wellness and inclusion among youth. Whereas after finding relief through yoga, Mahi became a certified instructor at age 14, yoga instructor, and went on to teach children and young adults, including those with special needs, through programs at the Gloucester County Library System, Rowan University's Get Fit program, and her own initiative, Yoga Beyond Boundaries. And whereas she founded the Community Teen Wellness Program, which expanded locally and internationally, receiving recognition from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, where she received first place at its 2025 National Conference, and from the New Jersey Governor's Volunteer Recognition Award for Services in Youth. Whereas Mahi now serves as the Director of Community Programs and Board Member for Teen Lifestyle Medicine, and has volunteered to administer the new Woolwich Township Teen Wellness Program, which starts tomorrow, everyone, inspiring her peers to embrace healthy living and kindness through her actions. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Natalie Mathias, Mayor of Woolwich Township, on behalf of the Woolwich Township Committee and the residents of Woolwich, do hereby recognize and honor Mahi for her outstanding contributions to promote wellness, inclusion, and youth empowerment in our community and beyond. Congratulations. So again, our teen wellness program starts tomorrow, as well as our adult wellness program. Mahi also did at Kingsway. How many students do you have involved in the Kingsway program?
We have 60 students.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Again, thank you very much, and we look forward to the program. Before I open up the floor to the public, I do want to make an announcement regarding our ordinances. On tonight's agenda, there are two ordinances, 2026-02 and 2026-03, that are still under legal review. So the Township Committee, we will not be even reading this because the first reading, in order to table it, would be an introduction, so therefore we are just going to be skipping over it. However, it is important for the committee to be aware, as well as the public, that these are in response to state-ordered and state-mandated ordinance updates that we have to do for affordable housing. Now, the fun thing about this is that we will see these again once we have the documents to go with it at our meeting on the 2nd. After our meeting on the 2nd, where it is introduced, it needs to go to the Joint Land Use Board, where they have their meeting on the 5th. And by state statute, we have to adopt this by the 15th of March. However, we have a Township Committee meeting on the 16th. The 16th is a Monday. March 15th is a Sunday. So I don't know why they would make the state regulation to be due on a Sunday, but they did. So one attorney advises us to hold a special meeting, and another attorney says that when the statute reads a date that is not a business day, it will therefore continue just onto our regular business day. So I have two conflicting legal opinions, but I wanted to bring it to the committee's attention and get your thoughts on it, and we can address it as we go a little bit forward. But just for the public, we will not be introducing those two ordinances tonight. So, the floor is now open. Oh, sorry. No, I know. I need to open it up first. All right. So, can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Now the floor is open, and the public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee.
Seeing no one come forward, motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ordinance 2026-01, ordinancing established the position of firefighter. This is first reading by title only. Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion.
Can one of you second that?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All right, well, I'll just give you a brief description. So this description for a firefighter was compiled through lots of advice and guidance. It was put together by several other municipalities, had something very similar in format, and we took the best of that and again, didn't create the wheel, but I think we have a very strong position. It was also one of the main components was the civil service description, and we use that as the basis as well as being fine-tuned. It's been viewed by Fire Chief as he keeps nodding along. So that's what we're seeing here as our first reading introduction. So that being said, any additional questions? Then roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Okay, as I said, I am not going to introduce 2026-02 and 2026-03. However, legal, if you're okay with that, I would like to get the committee's opinion if we hold a special meeting or if we should just go on the 16th.
You can, although I would have deferred to what the opinion was that your solicitor, John Ellis, had given you and follow that.
John Alice's advice is we're holding it on we have a regular meeting on the 16th, and therefore, if somebody comes after us for not having immunity for 12 hours, then he believes he can defend that, but that, again, the statute is on a Sunday, it's not a work day.
But if we decided on the 16th, will the email be dated the 16th to the state, or will it be the 17th?
No, it'll all be dated the 16th, because that's when we would approve it.
Okay.
We have to introduce this on the 2nd, and then it would be on the 16th that it would be dated.
Okay. Well, then I would agree, the
Okay.
16th.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. 2020,
I've never seen the state do anything on a Sunday, so.
But you have on a Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, ordinance 2026-04, ordinance amending the 2024 salary ordinance of the Township of Woolwich. This is a first reading introduction. Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and again, this is adding the position of firefighter to our salary ordinance. So, and yeah, that's the only change. Any additional questions?
Just, I mean, for first reading, this is fine, but as we kind of always do, we have a range of 52 to 60. Obviously, it's coming from something. It's always nice to see the analysis like we do with all the other positions. So if we can just, before our official adoption, if we can just see the rationale for that range, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, I know we can speak to that a little bit now. So this was also roughly the advertised range for the job when we put it out, which is based upon the average of lots of other municipalities. So, Chief, I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, or?
Just part of, most likely, we took a consensus with all municipalities that have career guides on where their salary base were, so we were on the same level playing field with them. But also with the grant, it was the grant also the federal government gave them what the minimum was, and we could go with them to pass it because of the grant funds. So that's what we locked with them.
Makes sense.
All right, any additional questions? Then roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, resolutions. I'm actually, all right, let's take the first one. Resolution 2026-63A. That has been tabled. So I am going to look for a motion to untable Resolution 2026-63A.
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. So this is previously, oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. Getting ahead of myself. All right, so this was previously tabled because there were some questions on the lighting and the configurations thereof. So now that it has been untabled, I am looking for a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right. So, again, I believe Committeeman Frederick, you had questions about this. Have your questions been answered? Because I believe we also
Yep.
have the rep here who.
Yeah, they have. So I did have a chance to talk with Dan for quite some time, which was great, just to talk through the lighting. He confirmed that the lighting is meeting all safety standards of all fields F, G, H, and I, which is where the lights are going. Basically, the one change that we did in working with Dom from our parks is we actually are moving the poles on F. That is a small soccer field because they actually move because of the gold post area. They move about 15 to 20 feet or a yard. It's got to be feet, but basically large enough so we had to move the poles. So that by making that change, it still did not impact the price, which is great. So we're just making that net adjustment so that way they can still move the field to allow it to still be utilized. And then just a quick note from dollars and cents. Just from an annual basis, obviously electric is coming out of that, so the rough estimate, which is in the quote, is roughly about $4,500. So I know when we move also back to the back of the park, that'll also be a lighting cost. So I just, as we go through budgeting, we probably need to incorporate all the net new lighting as a line item or a consideration. So, but again, for these particular, again, roughly $4,500 a year.
And I think that's great because that's a lot less being LED than what we currently have at the park.
For sure.
So. And they're also instant on.
If I could just add something.
Yes.
That's with everything on for the whole 300 hours, so which isn't that.
Right.
I like that. All right, any additional questions from the committee? Then roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Resolution 2026-66, resolution authorizing additional compensation for Remington and Vurick engineers for supplemental professional services not to exceed $35,270 for the Lock Avenue Park improvements, Phase 1. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion?
Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, this is specifically work called out for that was not included in the original scope of work. This is additional work that we added because this is specifically for the lightings and the permitting needed. Mark, did you want to speak on this?
Right, yeah, so this is for the design services, essentially for the additional lighting for F, G, H, and I. It covers for survey, for the design of the new system, and for reviewing of submittals from the contractor back to us to review them once they're ready to install, as well as payment applications for the additional time frame that they'll be out there installing at the additional 2 to 3 months as was quoted by the contractor. So that's all that's included in that.
And is this amount adjusted from the amount we saw last time?
Yes. So we reduced the scope of what we originally said. So in the original proposal, we had in there for a scope to the 2 possible design possibilities. One of them was to have a secondary tap into the existing electric utility transformer. We are excluding that possibility in this instance, in this proposal, mainly because that was, when we initially included that, that was kind of a cover all your bases type of thing. It was possible, but it wasn't likely. So when the ask was given to possibly reduce the price, we looked at everything that we had and figured that probably wasn't even going to be applicable or likely or even the most efficient design for this scenario. So we decided to exclude that possibility out, and this number is the result of excluding that work from our proposal.
Administrator, I know you had a chance to review the original and then now the revised. Do you believe the revised fits the scope of work needed? Okay. What additional questions does the committee have? All right, and hearing no other questions, roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, we're going to take these out of order just a little bit because I know we have Bill here with us. So I'm going to jump around to Resolution 2026-76, resolution authorizing the hiring of building inspector within the Woolwich Township UCC department. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt Resolution 2026-76.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Okay. So hopefully the committee has had a chance to review it, the hiring of a building inspector. And I know, Bill, you have provided documentation to the committee as far as the hours that necessitate this position. Can you give us a brief summary of why this position is necessary because of the workload?
Sure. Do I stand?
Please.
So I did analysis based on the permit intake for 2025, also considering backlog for previous years. So last year we did about 7,000 inspections across the board. That was 1,100 permits taken in, which came to about $1 million. Looking at projections provided by Paul Atlas from Ryan, they're looking at 20 to 40 housing starts per month. Currently, if we took the 25 numbers, we're at 19 and a half. That's with me running full time out there doing up to 18 and a half average inspections a day. UCC would have, or DCA would have an issue with that because generally they take 7 working hours in a day and then divide it up by 30 minutes per inspection. Obviously, inspections don't always take 30 minutes, and some take up to 2 hours or more. For example, frames, we have commercial properties, apartment buildings, we have 7 of them, being built right now, and they can take 46 hours. That means we're going to lose 12 inspections for that one building per frame. So based on those loads, it works out that if I hire a full-time building inspector, that keeps our head above water and pretty much level at 21 inspections per day and a 13 inspection load per person. That would be me inspecting as well as full-time, and full-time is replacing the seat I currently vacate. That doesn't mean I'm not inspecting at the same time as you see by my shoes. What that does mean, the other subcodes will be affected as well. So we had some areas in 2025 where plumbing and electrical were kind of overwhelmed at points. We were able to work that out, and also we have a desperate need probably for electrical because that's going to be another heavy load, and plumbing. So plumbing, we did some background work, and we do have somebody that we have currently as a sub, listed by ordinance as a sub, that we would consider and bring that person in as a part-time plumbing inspector. He also holds 3 other licenses, all the way up to AG keeps class 1 based also on projections and some rough estimates on salaries, expenses, those type of things. And I did a range from 20% increase all the way up to 80% increase. The numbers Paul gave me were actually at 100% increase. So I was trying to be more conservative and having about 1,800 projected permits for next year. That does not include the backlog that we currently have for 2025. I think Jim experienced that today. We've been moving cabinets around and getting stuff archived so we can make room for the additional load coming in. These are strictly UCC costs. They're not taking into account anything for enforcement, housing. Obviously, with those 2 areas, we have some things we need to address based on some law changes from the state, specifically with fire inspectors and the smoke detector certifications that are now required by us for hotel mobile dwelling license. So we are covered currently. We've our Rich Highway back license for that. But that gives a 1-year window that we have to be compliant by 2027. With that being said, we're working with Red Rock from the Bureau, helps out with housing, so we are applying those things. So it keeps the state on our back while we work towards getting our processes worked out in that case. So taking all that other monies off the board, it's strictly with UCC, based on the 1,883 inspections that I have projected, that's $1.7 million intake for UCC permits for next year, comparative to $1,079,000 this year.
So the salary is covered in your budget?
Yes, I tried to look at 3 or 4 different ways. I do have an allocation for a part-time building inspector. I think Paul is projecting, and fortunate or unfortunate, we did have some delays with Kings Meadow, obviously the sewer tie-ins and things with the developer, which bought us a little bit more time. We did start advertising, I believe, in November for electrical, building, and plumbing, and we only had 2 hits for building for the position that I advertised for full time. And we did, we're able to allocate a sub, he's a good sub, so he's on your document as well. So, and Bruce is spending a lot of time training as well. So this person has no experience, but he's really likes stuff. HHS, he was a framer, so it kind of fits with all the training and everything going on in his house. So he much more time in construction. So we do have some challenges. One of my bigger concerns is going to be with electrical. Jim Cronin is giving us 3 days a week, 5 hours a day, at least a 2-day gap. And, you know, if anything happens to any of these subcode / inspectors, then we have a real deficit. And then searching other towns to find subs and everything. And I don't have a sub right now from that. I do plumbing and building. So these are things we're working around. Probably the elephant in the room is, why do we need more people since we didn't go back to shared services with East Greenwich? I can easily answer that. I think we being Andy and I, discussed this, saying that we would not meet our best interest to go to the shared services based on the load coming up. When we talked about the loading about 2 years ago, we just looked at Kings Meadow, we didn't anticipate the additional 350 units behind us, between townhouses, single-family homes, 7 additional apartment buildings, and everything else is coming in the site. Let alone that last year we did almost 884 alterations, 10 additions, so things add up. We're also doing zoning inspections, which we did about 75 of those last year, and on top of we're averaging 300 to 350 housing inspections per year. So all these things take our time. Along with that, we're dealing with the vacant property registry, working with code enforcement. So there's a lot going for the office, and on top of all this, we're doing a software change. So I'm sure all of you enjoy going through those type of things. We're going to SDL. Another thing implemented by the state became law, where we have to deal with electronic permitting now. SDL is also an owner of the company that we had here prior, NC Systems, which does MTS, Enforcer, and Clearing. But NC Systems was not able to come up with a system that would do electronic permitting. So SDL was the next best alternative to that, cost-wise as well as consistency across the board. I usually done with it as well. So it seemed to be a natural pair to that. Plus we have a discount for being next customer. So it kind of worked out in the long run. We've been in discussions with SDL also. We did start down that path for the software changes, so that's going to take 16 weeks to implement on top of our normal workloads. Cap's working with me on that. So we have a lot of things going on right now. But the major thing is getting that seat filled for the building inspector. Also allows us the time to do a subcode review, plan review, and run the office. Any questions?
One, just very impressive of rattling off all the numbers. So certainly hard to have any questions on that. Just one question or a comment is, I know I had a permit for electric this past year, and obviously because of the position, it had to be outsourced. So we went to South Harrison, who had a retired electrical guy do the inspection. So maybe that's another angle, just to find a interim substitute or part-time if necessary, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, we did have Jim Anderson come in. So Jim, but he wasn't licensed for subcode for HHS, what we needed here. So
Okay, I think this was Charles Basto, was his name?
Yeah, so we had a couple, but nothing that would fill the need based on our loading coming up. So if we're going, we're doing 15 inspections a day, other times, they're part-time, we're doing more than that.
Sure.
So it's hard to get people to say, yeah, we'll sign up for that, run for the 15 inspections. I'm only doing 3 or 4 a day everywhere else, making a lot more money. Yeah, it's a challenge, but we'll get through it. It's the same thing I work through Linwood. I got too deep and everything, so that's always had. Someone gets sick, takes vacation, etc.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure we keep our loading even across the board, not too aggressive, where we don't do the so that's not like designed to put that on the board. I just start. So let's keep it on board. keep you informed of whatever you need to know. Post the daily reports, the monthly reports, and you have an idea what's going on as well.
So with this electronic permitting, I know it's kind of segueing over, is there other or additional opportunities for the residents to complete this online? I know there's the fillable forms, but is this going to be expanding capacity or making it easier for our residents?
Yeah, actually, when it's all done, you'll have access to the new permits and everything else, history, just like things. Some of the towns have it implemented and been running for a bit. Outside the state, mostly, they can pretty much go to lock and block and find out the information of their house for all plans. So, yeah, the end result is a very good information-based database for citizens. So it's a great benefit. And it makes it a lot easier. You take permits out online for minor work type of things, where it's an emergency, you need a heater, a guy can get on, send it right through, pay online. So the whole idea is to make it more streamlined, which means that should be that easy to get a permit. Because our costs are kind of fixed anyway, so it's not easy to pick it.
Well, I appreciate all the information that you have provided the committee. Any additional questions? All right, thank you, Bill. All right, so I have a motion and a second with no additional questions. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, and I did that out of order, Bill. You're more than welcome to stay. You don't have to. Because now I'm going to go back and call for a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2026-67 through resolution 2026-79, of course, with the exclusion of 76.
Okay. Motion for a consent agenda for resolution 2026-67 through 2026-79, excluding 2026-76.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Minhas. We'll go with Minhas. All right. Any removals? All right. Then can I get an all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-67 through Resolution 2026-79 with the exception of Resolution 76?
Motion to adopt.
Can I have a second? Second. All right. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes to all but abstain from 78 and 79.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes, abstain 78 and 79.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Administrator report.
Thank you. You will have my report. I'll just highlight a couple of items. On personnel, we do have our leadership meeting this Friday at 9. We have it third Friday at 9 o'clock every month. We have, and everyone should have, I'll remind them tomorrow, to have all their purpose statements. They're all very excited. All department heads excited about creating purpose statements. So many of them, probably half of them haven't been already. Look fantastic. So we'll end up putting them on the website at some point, but they've done a great job. We've reviewed some of them already, going over them from the last 2 meetings, so it's been a good exercise to help. I think everybody think, why am I doing what I'm doing? And not just what I'm doing, but why am I doing it? How do I serve the community in this way? So it helps them piece apart their department a little bit, improve it a little bit more. So I think it's been a big constructive. I'm not sure if Jess, but exactly. So I think that's been a good exercise. As Bill shared, we are, and you can tell Bill is very knowledgeable in this area, has his numbers together, has his department, I think, well tuned, so I have the utmost confidence in the department as well. We are working with, through this state mandated certificate of occupancy, the residential certificate of occupancy, as Bill shared, that we're going to do probably amended shared service at some point soon with the borough of Swedesboro and Fire Bureau to take care of this role, as Bill shared. Fred Locke is working with us on that right now, but soon we need to codify that and bring that together, Swedesboro as well. Kingsgate versus North Point Woolwich and Woolwich Jayla. That complaint has been dismissed. We see that. But that's a great thing, so we're doing well in sports these days, which is fantastic. And if you could, make sure you review the newsletter. Sent that out today. There are a lot on the administrative page. You can tell there's a lot of changes that we made, but kind of take a peek through that, make sure everything looks good. As you go through the report, not a lot going on in construction the last month with everything frozen, so there's not a lot that's happening out there at the park and other places. On page 10, the Russo development, we did meet with the developer and attorney virtually and discuss the pilot. We have some of you before my time have gone through pilots with that developer where 2 of those buildings are in Woolwich, 2 have a portion in Woolwich. We don't have a pilot on the portion park. And that equates to about 307,000 square feet that we can do a pilot on. So we'll start that process and doing that as we go down that road.
Do you know if terms have been met with the other town?
Pardon?
With the
Yes.
pilot? It has?
With Harrison.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We told them to start there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They were a little taken aback by that.
They did have a lot of work.
No.
We're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
So they think about it. Residential on page 15, Kings Meadow. You can tell that we did receive the first half of our sewer connection fee, which is another great thing, so that certainly helps in our budget for this year. The next page, 17, Park Road Affordable Housing. That development received preliminary approval from JLO this month, and we're working with them in terms of the desire to amend that pilot and bring that before you, what that looks like. SADC, page 20 and 21. The mayor and I met with Commissioner Lang and Assembly Bailey this last month. They are jumping in aggressively and partnering with us, which I think the mayor shared last week, to bring us before the SADC. So they're working on creating a meeting for us, with us, to go to the SADC and make a plea on our behalf, really, for the farmland preservation begin. So they are really making a strong push, which is great. I really believe that this is going to come to an end this year. This is called TBR, but there's a lot of pressure for them to make sure this comes to an end. So they're pressing on all fronts, state as well as county, which is really positive. And the last really, let's see, retail development. We continue to work with a developer that has that corner property, the owner that now has that corner property, working with the developer for Route 322 inside that 1.5 acres to do development there. So hopefully that is the goal, to be the first kickoff for some retail. Besides the talking about that. Any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Tax collector, the report has been submitted. Woolwich Fire Company, Chief. So I know you have your report, but maybe you could bring the committee up to speed on the hiring process and outline that a little bit.
All right, so in the past, the whole month of January in through December, we're currently conducting the hiring process for the 3 career positions for the fire department. So the whole month of December, we advertised, at the beginning of December, at the end of December, for applications. We had 92 applicants that applied for the 3 positions. Out of that, once we went through and looked at credentials with the director of the academy and everything like that, half of those, 54 of those people didn't meet that criteria, so they were dumped out. Out of that group there was a handful of about 40-some people left out of that group there that we basically took in, administered the test through the academy. They did a Fire 1, Fire 2 100-question test. Those individuals, the first night, we had 1 guy pass out of 14 people out of the test. Second night, which was a Wednesday night, we had 6 more guys pass out of 14 people taking the test. So.
And some of these are active firefighters in other areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, I had spoke to, when I was talking at the academy about this, I said, listen, I know some of these guys, they're phenomenal guys out on the street when they come to firefighting. And, you know, some of them just ain't there to take tests. They can do the job out in the street blindfolded, no problem, but when it comes to testing and things like that, not a lot of people pick that up. Plus, when the state dumps a lot of questions in, because those questions come from Jones and Bartlett, your key university, they'll send one question one way, and 6 questions down, the same questions worded a different way, and it's there to catch it, right? So, it's amazing that out of the 100 questions that's given there, I mean, some of the questions were simple questions, and guys, you can see on Scantron where they shaded in the area, and they second guessed and went back and erased it, and then they went and Scantron another one. Next thing you know, they had the right answer the first time, they read it again, and they were there. So that's what happened there on that part. We did the physical performance test at the academy. Those 7 individuals met that within their time frame of 5 minutes. They went through the physical part of the test. And then what we did was we brought in a chiefs panel of 4 different chiefs, not even around the area. I brought in the chief from Christiana Fire Department. I brought in the chief from Radnor Fire Department, the chief from Winslow Fire Department. Then I've also brought in the chief from Westville. Day of the thing, his kid had got hurt at soccer in the morning, so he couldn't make it. So the 3 chiefs from Winslow, Christiana, and Radnor, they conducted the interview process. None of those chiefs have ever met the candidates at all, except for the first 10 minutes. They looked at their resume, their cover letter, read it, spent 30 minutes with the candidate, interviewed them, and then they scored them. They went and did a compile sheet of giving them how they picked through the questions. We gave them a bank of questions. They went through and picked it. They scored them on their questions, and then they also, one of the chiefs, they compile of how they conducted themselves in the interview. So all that information was sent over to mayor and the administrator so they could see how that was. At the end, we took it to the reflection of civil service on your years of service for the volunteers in the department, gave them a percentage, and we gave them a score. So those individuals met the scores where they are. 3 of those individuals exceeded the scores, and they all did well. All 7 candidates that interviewed did well. All 7 candidates, I can tell you that all 7 candidates are from our department. Those 7 candidates from the department, they did well in all the interview process, the testing, and all the physical fitness, because day in and day out, 12 months a year, these guys are eating, living, breathing, training every day. They read, they take extra classes, they go above and beyond our stuff. It makes me feel good as chief that these guys passed the test, and we were left out of it because it was given up by third parties. So it shows that they take their position as a firefighter very seriously, because that's what they want to do. So there's that information. We met last Thursday with the mayors and them. They went over the whole compile information. So now we'll sit down hopefully this week and we'll pick those 3 individuals so that way we can move on with the process.
Well, Chief, I think it's a testament to you and to your company that the top performers were all from your company, so kudos to you for that. But of course, I also wanted to bring the committee up to speed, because next month, then, like Chief said, we're going to be seeing about hiring these firefighters. And can you speak about the timing of the grant and why we're going to be seeing these names next month?
So when we accepted the grant, we got the grant, we had 180 days before we get the funding. So we have to have everything in place, the hiring, the process, everything put together in 180 days, which we've met that, we've got that. So come March 19th, if we didn't move on this by March 19th of this year, we'd have lost the money on the table, because as days goes on and we don't have these individuals hired, the federal government just isn't going to say, okay, well, you hired in April, we'll give you the money, the back money that you missed. No, they take that money away. So it was adamant, and we had to move fast so we can keep that money in, so it's less to worry about to, financial rates.
But what if it's on a weekend? Can we wait till Monday?
Obviously,
Too soon?
Yeah, so the 19th, we're going to do it. Hopefully, we're going to have our guys squared away by the 16th. These guys will be out on the streets. There's a list of stuff they're going to do. They're going to help out with the fire inspectors doing line inspections, things like that. There's a lot of things that they're going to do that it's going to take a burden off of a lot of us line officers during the day, that in the nighttime, that we take working a regular job during the daytime. We're up till 9, 10 o'clock at night doing a bunch of other stuff just to play catch up throughout things. These guys are going to handle a lot of that stuff during the daytime as well, so it's going to help us out. And they're basically, so I met with my guys all together here in the past week, and we talked. We said, listen, even though these guys are going to get hired, nobody's different. There's no dividing line in the department. Everybody's on the same page. It doesn't matter whether you're getting paid now and you're not getting paid, you're still volunteering. These guys are going to set these guys up for success in what we're doing. And we're not going to leave anything behind for the guys in the daytime. So if you have a fire in the middle of the night and us volunteers are there, we're going to make sure our stuff is restored back in order. So the daytime guys, they can keep on moving forward with what we do. It's all about progress, right? So that's what we're looking at. So moving into the future and also serving our residents a lot better now than we're doing.
All right, thank you. I know next meeting, we will be bringing up, the second reading and any questions and opening up to the public for the ordinance establishing the position of firefighter. Might you be available to
Yes.
attend in case there are additional questions that the committee cannot answer? All right, thank you. Okay, please continue with your report if you want.
So can I just ask one?
Yeah.
So like we do with our police officers, can we bring them maybe into an executive session, the three that are chosen, just for a quick little 5-minute, hello, how are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah, for sure. You're talking the three that we pick, or you want to do
The three that you
all
picked.
7
No.
candidates?
Just
the three you pick.
your recommendation.
Sure, that's no problem. We'll do that.
We'll talk offline as far as which meeting that'll be.
Okay.
And then shared service agreement, that's just forthcoming with Swedesboro?
Yeah, so you'll see that at our next meeting.
Okay,
because,
thank you.
Yeah, it's at legal and then it needs to go over to Swedesboro.
And you guys got the additional information I gave you from
Yes.
Thursday night when I talked to the individual, the other information you were
Yes,
asking.
thank you.
Just a real quick recap of the report you guys have that's included in your thing. We had 48 incidents for the month of January, which was it was quiet, which was good. 6-minute 58 response time, unable to do 16 incidents, so that's a lot of stuff during the daytime. Nighttime and weekend, us volunteers, we're here, we're trying to do a lot of stuff during the daytime. We're struggling during the daytime, this is where the daytime guys will come on. Our mutual aid picks up, our fire official picks up, so it's not the call doesn't get answered. We might not be on a truck, but a truck is still showing up at your house, whether it's mutual aid or somebody next door, these trucks getting there, right? The incidents, you had 23 in Woolwich Township, 3 on the Turnpike, 12 in Swedesboro, 1 in Salem City, 3 in South Harrison, 2 in Harrison, and 4 in Deptford. The total amount of calls is 48. The guys are currently, right now, we're going through the process of getting all our mandatories done. Some of us are taking some leadership seminars. I know myself and Deputy Chief Ross, we are actually going out, doing 2 things. We're actually going to go to the Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland, to take a leadership course out there later this spring. We're also going out to Indianapolis to FDIC, which is a major mecca where a lot of training goes on, that we're going to bring some stuff back to our community, the way things are growing here. We're learning from other communities in rural areas to bring back here to help us grow out. So we're going out to take some incident management classes, as long as also some leadership classes to help kind of, bring our younger leadership up to par, so when we step down, they're ahead of the game. So that's basically what we're doing. So that's in April, we're going to do a lot of that stuff. April and May, we're going to be doing travel a little bit. Other than that, that's basically it. I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank the Borough of Swedesboro for part of this process of getting us where we are today. We're going for a grant. Will we be here tonight talking about this? Possibly not, who knows, but I'm glad it's a step forward with what's coming on, what's being built here. It's going to get busier, so.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from UCC how busy it's going to be, so.
Just so you know, we had a fire out at Kingsway Middle School on Friday. Light burst into flames in the hallway. Fred was there. They don't know why it burst into flames. They don't know if it was a short out thing, but it actually, a janitor was walking down the hallway, noticed the arcing going on. He was on the radio to call 911, and we could see all this through the video system after the fire was done. You see the light, it flashes, and then it just starts, looked like water was coming down there. It was actually melting. The plastic cover around the light was melting, and it dropped down and caught fire in the middle of the hallway. The janitor came in, we watched this on camera, hit it with the fire extinguisher, which made a mess because they had the doors wide open, the fire doors open, so now all that dry tank went down the hallway. So their night was probably busy all weekend cleaning the school up for money for the kids coming back to middle school. But if it wasn't for that janitor being in that hallway it could have been a different situation for the middle school here on Friday. But all of our trucks got out, mutual aid got out, and we were there to assist the ventilate building and everything like that, and get them back in order for the school. So that's it.
Thank you. Any questions?
No questions? No. No. I think next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Swedesboro Fire Bureau, the report was in our packet. Chief. This one, this chief.
We had a very productive, good month last month, especially if you want to compare us to January of 25. We had over 500 more calls for service than we had last year, 230 more car stops than January of last year. Very, very proactive, a ton of arrests, a ton of summonses issued. It was a very, very good month for our guys. So I'm very happy with that. As far as accommodations, it was mainly speaking to the ice rescue in January, which we're all aware of, so I'm not really going to get into that. But a couple extra things I want to add. In January, Governor Murphy signed S4834/A6235, which creates new regulations for e-bikes in the state. The law classifies all e-bikes, every single type, as a motorized bicycle now, requiring licensure and registration. The new law states that e-bike riders have until July 19th of 26th to obtain an appropriate license and registration through the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission to comply with the new law. New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission procedures for licensing and registration are still under development, so we don't actually know how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But our residents are encouraged to go to njbikeped.org, which is the New Jersey Bicycle and Pedestrian Resource Center, for any updates. And then we'll be posting information on our website and on all social media as it comes available to us. But it looks like, yeah, all these e-bikes is going to require registration, most likely insurance, and a license.
Did they stipulate like a speed or an engine size or anything like that?
No, it's all of them.
It's all of them.
So
Previously, if it was under 10 miles an
Right.
hour,
Right.
in some places you didn't. And of course, my bike is under 10. But
Why
now
don't you just
it's
walk?
all-
yeah, they had class 1, 2, and 3.
Should we have 20?
Yeah, so they had different classes before. So you had some that you had to pedal, some you didn't have to pedal, and then other ones that exceeded the 25 miles per hour second permit. But now, with the new law, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're going to need a license, registration, insurance. You have to be 15 years old. You cannot be any younger than that operating any of these e-bikes whatsoever, and obviously requires a helmet. So I'm going to keep you up to date on that. And while we're talking about social media website, I'm working with Jim migrating woolwichpd.org over to the township website. That should be happening within the next week or so, I'm assuming. And that's going to have everything from our page migrated over, so the residents can see everything on one spot. So it looks like it's going to be pretty good. February 23rd, we're participating in the state's Goal Zero campaign. It's a statewide initiative focusing on reducing traffic fatalities down to zero. Officers will be on duty specifically enforcing speeding, impaired driving, distracted driving, and intersection violations. This is going to be guys in addition to the patrol ship that's working. So we're probably going to have about 10 officers concentrating on this that day. That day specifically is the date one of a New Jersey resident was killed involved in a motor vehicle crash for somebody that was driving aggressive. So they're trying to match these Goal Zero dates up with when people died. So there's going to be more throughout the year. We have our second patrol car that has an automated license plate reader system. Is going to be up and running within the next week or so. We're wrapping that up, so we're going to have 2 cars 24/7 rolling, reporting everything, which we love. Cover the website, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else has been good, just getting used to new positions and working everything out.
I think we're going to hear a lot of resident feedback about those e-bikes,
Yeah.
and especially for the youth, if you have to be 13 and older. So I know you said information is going to be forthcoming. We absolutely need to get ahead of this and share as much as we possibly can, not only for the adults, but for kids.
I think he said 15.
Yeah, because I did.
15, 13.
Yeah, we did put an article, but the information that we put in by the time it comes out is going to be old. Because this new legislation is going to be out, it's going to supersede
Put
it.
that information in the newsletter?
No. Yeah, we,
Put at least
yeah,
something that says
yeah.
slow down.
Yeah, because we have.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'll email that to you tonight, and you can put it in tomorrow. But the website, njbikeped.org, is great. It's a resource for all bicycle stuff, pedestrian stuff, programs, training, enforcement ideas, you name it, has everything in there, all the updates. So it's a great thing we can have on our website as a resource.
Include the scooters, 1 mile an hour now, but they don't have anything for those.
Oh, like the actual, like the little razor
Motorized
things?
scooters.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not addressed.
Oh,
Yeah, not
that'll
that I
be
know.
next.
Yeah, not yet.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
yeah. But, so as I learn, I'll put it out to
Okay.
everyone, but it's just, we're getting bits and pieces as we go.
Thank you. Now, I also noticed something, and I know I'm just springing this on you, but inside like the Newtown Press, Logan Township posts their crime log. And I
Right.
know you include the crime log to us. Is there some way that that could be disseminated to the
Yeah.
public?
I actually just talked to Karen
Okay.
2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. So I'm gonna upload it monthly to the township website, and I'll give her either she can upload it off the website, download it off the website, or I can send it to her directly, but it's gonna be in Newtown Press every
Okay.
month,
Thank you.
as soon as I talk about it.
All right, any questions?
Okay, and Karen would need that information by the third Friday of the month.
Right. Yeah, so I usually have it in time for our second meeting, so she should have it, but it's always gonna be a month behind, just like the monthly reports.
Thank you. Some good stuff going on. All right, Township Engineer.
Good evening, Mayor and Committee. I noticed under new business, there was talking about the Back Creek Road grant. Do you want me to wait until then, or do you want me to cover it now?
Well, you can mention it now. I
Okay.
mean, we passed it, so.
Okay. So for Back Creek Road, we had originally applied for the municipal aid grant for fiscal year 2026 for the paving of the entire road. It was over $900,000 was the estimate. We ended up getting $170,000, not nearly enough. In talking with Public Works and Mayor and Committee in previous meetings, instead of taking that for about 2,000 linear feet of paving, which is less than a half a mile, we decided to focus on several different areas of washout that are that frequently occur along the road. And then in doing that preliminary estimate, it was determined that the funding still was insufficient. So what we're proposing to do is apply for the local aid infrastructure fund grant, which is a discretionary fund applied through the state. We apply through SAGE as other grants that we do, but it is a rolling application period. So we can apply this week and there is no deadline to apply. We just apply, they consider the application, and they award funds as they see fit and as the money comes in. If there is unused grant funds in another DOT pot that they don't use, they can apply it towards this and then award applications as they see fit. So there's no real timeline, definitive timeline that I can provide to say, oh, it'll be 2 months. It could be 2 months, it could be shorter.
Also, no definitive award amount, though, either.
Correct. But any little bit for this would help, so that is our proposal to apply for that grant and hopefully receive funding for it to help supplement the municipal aid grant.
Right. So the reason Mark is bringing it up is because there is a $2,800 cost, correct? $2,500 cost in order to apply for this. But as he detailed, we don't have enough money to do the really poor sections of Back Creek Road. So I would need committee approval to authorize R&V to spend $2,500 to go after this grant.
Is this for the whole road or just a portion?
There are 2 locations that we were looking at. One location is in between Erica Court and Regal's Court, and then the second location between Russell Mill Road and Nocentino Drive. Those are 2 areas that have experienced washout in the past that when talking with Brian Hughes, we wanted to kind of put in some stormwater drainage mitigation efforts to reduce future washouts as well. I know Brian has pictures of sections of the road disappearing. We can put those pictures in our application and say this is a need, hopefully to kind of steer them in the direction that we need this money. So but yeah, no, it's just for 2 particular locations, to answer your question.
And so with this money that we do have to award it by 2027?
November of 2027, yes.
November of 2027. So we have time to apply, see if we get the additional funding, and then we can extend the scope. So I think it's a good idea, which is why I wanted to bring it, we'll have Mark bring it to the committee's attention to apply for it. So if there's no objections, then we would have it on the agenda for next time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The local recreation improvements grant for fiscal year 2026 through DCA, RVE submitted an application to DCA last week on the 10th for the phase 2 of the Center Square Road walking trail rehab. The scope of work we submitted for was going from Valley Forge Drive east to Auburn Road. So we're primarily going to be focusing on that section right in front of the hair salon where there is essentially no trail there. So that's going to be the primary focus, but I kind of increased the scope of the location just so if there were other locations in between that location and Auburn Road, we could include that within the grant without having them question scope, anything like that. So I kind of covered our bases there. And that usually comes out in June, the award notifications for that, and how much the township would be awarded. So we'll just be in a holding pattern until then. And like Jim said, for construction, not much happened in the past month. But for Lock Ave Park, a couple things I wanted to touch on. The wet tap install for the service distribution in the Aquas main on Lock Avenue is scheduled for the first week in March. And I followed up with the contractor for possibility of hydro seed for the softball fields. They're going to follow up with their landscape sub and get back to me, but I have not heard anything updates as of now. But I will keep you updated.
So that means that's when we're going to get our next snowstorm, I'm sure. Any questions for the engineer?
Just a comment on FEMA. You noted it in bold that we got denied FEMA fees again for Lock Ave.
That's just kind of been a holdover.
It's been there for a while, right?
It's been there for a while. I can reconfirm that with our DEP representative. So for that one, I'll have to double check again with the FEMA rep. But I think the last time I spoke with them was it was something to do with DEP permitting and the fact that it was an emergency, so we had to just get out there, do the work, and go to DEP later. I believe FEMA took issue with that order of operations, even though it was...
Did we already use the money for that or no? I remember the allocation.
We've spent...
We spent it, I know that.
We spent it. It's just, I think... We spent the money in order to conduct the repair. But FEMA is saying that they never allocated money towards that project. So when we, as a township committee, took out the emergency $3 million bond, that's where the money came from in order to do that repair, and we were hoping the FEMA would then reimburse us for that expense. But instead, FEMA deemed that project ineligible.
But we did get a check from FEMA.
We did get a check, but not for the Lock Avenue. We submitted Lock Avenue Park and others, and they said no, but the check that we received was more for Mill.
Yeah. Oliphant's Mill.
For what?
Oliphant's Mill.
Well,
right?
Oliphant Mill.
Oliphant's Mill?
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
Did you say all of it?
Oliphants.
Oliphant.
Okay.
Sorry, no, no, sorry.
I'm like, all of it? Or
No, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good now. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, liaison reports. Minman Frederick.
All right, my main update, as promised for the last couple of months, Mayor and I met a couple times with our new CFO, with the administrator, and Acacia, just to go through our pilot analysis, right? So trying to figure out from all the money that we have coming in, all the money that has been delayed, just due to some delay in some of the development, how are we doing holistically? Right? So still more work to come, but I can at least tell you a couple of things. One, as we know from last year, we do have a 20-year bond, which matures in 2045. And basically that equates to about $3 million a year that we need to make sure we can pay down for that overall sewer. So between connection fees, which we just talked about earlier tonight, that we had a roughly $2.3 million connection fee with the Ryan Homes, and net of taxes, right? So we have pilot, and then we'd say, okay, if we didn't have a pilot, what would be the taxes that would go in our normal operating fund? So the excess of that is basically meant for the sewer. We know for the next 2 years, for sure, 2026, 2027, we definitely can easily make those payments based off of, again, the connection fees that we already have in hand and the pilots that we'll be collecting over the next 2 years. We will be meeting again in about 3 weeks to go through the full 30-year, or hopefully less than that, hopefully 20-year, 10-year potential payout of that. But I at least wanted to note that the next 2 years we are in good shape. So again, 3 weeks from now, so hopefully a month from now, I'll come back with more details, hopefully with great news as a whole. But obviously, depending on that, that obviously helps to determine what we need to do with potential new pilots, or maybe not with new pilots. Right? We talked about one tonight. We can be more aggressive if we need to as well. And I know at our last town hall, we talked about maybe having a pilot 101 class, as well as just where are we with finances in general at our, whatever the next one is, next town hall. So that's a topic that we'll go through. We can share, again, as much as we want to share, but keep it somewhat easier to understand because it is pretty complex. But in the end of the day, good story for the next 2 years, and hopefully it's going to be a lot more than the next 2 years. We basically, the biggest thing we did is knowing that there's been delays in some other developments. We pushed those down, where it's just something that we thought was going to be done in 26 or 27 that hasn't even started. We pushed that down to 28, 29, 30, just to make sure we're being as conservative through all the analysis. So more to come, but end of the day, good news for the next 2 years.
Thank you. Any questions? Again, more to come. You'll be happy. Well, I know Craig and I were breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief going through those numbers. All right, Committeewoman Williams.
Okay, first I'll cover Parks and Recreation. This Saturday, we have an event here in this building. It's called Summer Camps, Daycares, and Sports Camps with free indoor mini golf from 10 to 1. Okay, we have 11 vendors coming to set up tables and hand out information to parents about what's offered in our area. The other big thing that we're preparing for is the Daddy-Daughter Dance, which is going to be held February 28th at the Bridgeport Fire Hall. Okay. In addition to that, the mayor and I have a phone call tomorrow with the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission to discuss the open space recreation plan and a communication plan for getting the community involved with getting their recommendations for open space. That's all.
Any questions for the Committeewoman? Thank you, Jackie. Committeewoman Minhas.
All right, the January trash and recycling summary. There were 63 extra cardboard collections in January. There were 120 metal collections scheduled, which was equivalent of 1.71 tons, equaling to $250.50, which was received. There were 284 bulk collections, equivalent to 18.29 tons.
Thank you.
I had a question. When we say extra cardboard collections, does that mean people have a lot of cardboard and we just go pick it up? I don't know what that means.
No, I think it's being compared to the previous month.
Oh.
So in December, so from there, it's the increase.
But do we do specific cardboard collections?
This is what Shannon is.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's pretty much bulk on the side.
Yeah.
They're just
Okay.
extra.
I just was wondering about that because when I had extra cardboard, I took it right to Omni Recycling.
Where do you do that?
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
That's a model student right there.
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay.
So do you offer services on the
Yeah,
side?
yeah. I would call Shannon next time.
It was my son who did it.
Oh, there you go. So you subbed it out. Got it.
Nice.
So, of course, Committee Woman, as we start this wellness campaign, I know we have Health Department listed on here, but one of the aims of the wellness program is to form almost like an advisory committee that would help guide wellness and health questions in focus. So as we move forward with that, I would love to get together with you and have you meet with Dr. Gunda to see like how we can grow this program. So, that'd be awesome. Good. Great. All right, Deputy Mayor?
Well, the Environmental Commission met last week. A very long meeting with a whole bunch of things discussed. So I'll try to just give you the highlights of that very exciting meeting. The partnership with Trex continues. We continue to just absolutely churn through plastic to the point that the Commission is considering applying for a grant to get a plastic baler so that Woolwich Township could be more formally partnered with Trex to recycle plastic. Seeing as we can't seem to stop putting it in our recycling cans, this might actually be a solid solution. But there was much debate on whether or not to proceed and how that would be implemented in the township because there's a lot of open questions on that front. The Commission provided a reading list to the library of books that are intended to get people excited about caring for the environment, as well as discuss the goals for 2026. The Commission has not in the past set out any formal goals, so there's kind of a brainstorming session of what that's going to look like, and I assume that those will be more solidified at the next meeting. As far as the school, apparently it caught on fire, so there's that. Glad that that was not as bad as it could possibly have been, and that there was quick action involved. Otherwise, that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the Deputy Mayor? All right. Under my reports, Jim, of course, mentioned several of them already. So I'm good. No, I'm good. But again, just to reiterate for the Joint Land Use Board, there was a lawsuit naming the Joint Land Use Board filed against them and the township by residents in East Greenwich that backed up to the North Point development. That has been dismissed. They found they just dismissed it with no prejudice. So that was fine. And then the only meeting we had for Joint Land Use Board, we saw preliminary approval of the Fair Share Housing Center, the Park Grove development, passed preliminary approval. And everything else is already stated. Any questions for me regarding that? All right, seeing nothing under old business, new business, we've touched upon several of these. So where it says apply for grant Back Creek Road for washout area, that is what we discussed with Mark. So we will see an approval for that on our next meeting. Special meeting discussion of dates and time, that's in regards to the ordinance, and sounds like the committee is in favor of just going ahead with our regularly scheduled meeting. And then homebound support bags. I know that there was a flyer that's up and we posted about it. Was there someone who was speaking on that, or is that? No.
For the children.
Yeah. No, it's not the children's clothes. So this one, I know you were approached about it as well.
Yes, she's Anthony was speaking with her, but I believe she's a senior at Kingsway High School and came up with a program. We have I know we have a bunch of bags and supplies at our in our PD. They'll come. I guess it's outlines some activities that our older residents can do inside their home, and then some other resources. I think there's like COVID tests, some candy in there, and a couple other things.
Okay.
So we've got a couple of them out.
Okay. We will continue to send out that flyer to update residents that this is available, and it's available through the police department. Okay. And then the only other item under new business is our clerk is going to mention that in March.
Starting March 1st?
Yep.
Every public notice will be on our website. No more going to the newspaper. So we already currently started doing that a little bit last year, but heavily started in January. But it's official March 1st.
Right. So again, this is all changes by the state that we've known have been coming, and so it should definitely be helpful to have all the information on our website. And you said it's going to be a clickable agenda that'll lead right to the.
Oh, you're making it fancy.
Okay. We'll start with it being on the website. All right, thank you. Is there anything else under new business? Then we have reached the second public portion of the meeting. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion to open the floor.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open for public comment.
Jordan Schlump, 10 Wilshire Boulevard. I just want to say that the Public Works did a great job of removing snow, getting that nasty snow out of the way and ice. Disappointment is we have ordinances that say sidewalks will be cleared. A lot of sidewalks, even for businesses, were not cleared. From where I come from, your silence is permission. I didn't shovel my sidewalk. Well, I said nothing. I'm okay. The Center Square Tavern, that place, none of the sidewalks are cleared around the outside. Come over to the medical center here, none of the sidewalks are cleared. We're a community that is bringing in affordable housing. Along with affordable housing comes walking. How can the people walk to the facilities if they're not cleared? Sidewalks in communities. Communities where kids walk to school. Sidewalks aren't clear. What do we do? That's the question to you guys. What do we do? Okay? The what do we do is silence is permission. Thank you. Next thing, lights at the park. Still burning. Over 30 days. How many nights do they check them to make adjustments? I'm disappointed. Nobody knows the answers to these questions?
Well, I'll comment on the snow, right? The snow itself certainly needs to be tried to address. This is a storm that I spent 10 hours myself just trying to scrape under the ice to try to clear, which was near impossible, right? So I think that was the exception to the rule. But hopefully, again, on a normal circumstance, I think we would be fine to be reviewing and ensuring that the 24-hour rule is upheld. In terms of the light side, that's not my direct area responsibility, so I'm not sure exactly. I know the concern, I just don't know the answer.
I mean, we're paying for it, right?
We certainly are.
We're paying for it. Snow, our community had no problem removing the snow. How come? Do you know how much it disappoints me that nobody has an opinion? Silence is permission. Very disappointing. I heard something tonight, I had read it, and I didn't realize it. And I heard tonight, it's not finished. Probably won't answer it, like you don't answer anything else. The firefighters that we're hiring are daytime. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
It says salary. Is it salary or hourly?
Salary.
So do they get overtime?
They will be eligible for overtime.
Okay. In having a salary position, like a lot of our firefighters do, God bless them, the volunteers they are. A person that gets the job, is he still a volunteer also? And I like the comments I heard tonight about going over the pilots, because there's some of us in here that agree with pilots. We understand pilots, but we don't see the money. We don't see the money that came from marijuana. We don't see these little things that's all being collected in a separate bucket for the township. We understand that it needs to go that way, but it would be interesting to see a spreadsheet, most likely coming from the CFO, that says in 2025, we collected this money from, I don't need the name of the companies, even though it should be public. We collected these monies that went to this fund, and we have to pay down the sewer bill that is this number in total, so that we can see year in and year out where we're going.
Yeah, so that we do have. We have it broken out by those areas, so I can provide hopefully more of that detail, not just next month, but when we do the town hall. I'm happy to share it, or we can sit down individually.
Committeeman Frederick, I believe that's in the user-friendly budget, right? Where it has every single line item of revenue received and where it's
I mean,
coming
there's
in,
a user-friendly budget, but then there's a user-friendly sheet, right? So-
Understood.
Yeah, so.
But, so that's publicly available information. I think you would know that as well.
So it's public information, but most of what you give here is public information. So you shouldn't talk about anything?
Yeah, I mean, if I can just finish my comment real fast, right? So, I mean, end of the day, not all pilots go to the sewer, right? So we purposely have some designated because they're in the sewer service area. So there's sewer connection. Obviously, the sewer connection naturally pays off the sewer. Portion of the pilots pay off because, again, where they are, others do not. And same thing with cannabis. It does not go specifically to that particular payment. But we can definitely, I'm happy to share in greater detail once we get that finalized, hopefully in about 3 weeks. I think that's our next meeting.
Right. And that would be good information, because there are people my age and up who talk about it, about pilots, and we're like, what the hell is the pilot? What's it do? Where does it go? What do they save? Why do they need it? The number one thing they don't understand, no school tax comes out of that money. And they're going, what? I live in a senior community, I pay school tax. Well, yeah, that's what we agreed to do. So their question is, they don't have to pay school tax, so they like to see where the money is going or understand it. And I hear you say, oh, they can go to the budget. We can go to everything. So is that what you want all the residents of Woolwich to do?
No, I would like a specific question that you have. Asking about pilots, we can have the town hall about pilots, and I think that's a great idea. We've been talking about that for a while, so I think that would be very beneficial. But the level of detail that you're asking for, again, it's almost an Oprah request to get that kind of level of detail. But it's all public information, Jordan. So if you have a specific question, then please feel free to ask it. Committeeman Frederick said he would answer it. But the level you're talking about to disseminate to everybody, we can have it at the town hall. So I'm not sure what you're trying to accuse us of hiding things, because I don't think that's what we're doing at all.
I don't know that I accused anybody of hiding. I asked for...
You're saying that the people you're talking to don't know where the money is going? That's what you said. So we can always strive to make more information easily available. We'll have a town hall about it.
Okay. So I know you always give me the look. Information readily available to us. You will shovel your snow, it's readily available. But you won't answer me while you will not put anything together to enforce it. You won't answer me.
Thank you for your comment, Jordan.
Okay, I gave you what I have, but you won't answer me. Why not?
Do you have anything else to share with the committee? Seeing no one further, I make a motion to close the floor. Do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Floor is now closed for public comment. So, we are now at Resolution 2026-80, resolution authorizing a closed session of the Township Committee of Woolwich, contractual matters. This is a police administration PBA contract, but it's not exactly the PBA contract, so it's the chief contract and the administrative contract. Yeah. Okay, so can I have a motion? Motion. And can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. We are now in close. I estimate it will be about 15 minutes. And there will be action coming out of executive session. All right, can I have a motion to return to regular session?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution 2026-81, resolution authorizing an employment contract for the superior officer's position within the Woolwich Township Police Department. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt Resolution 2026-81.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I believe we are adding a whereas statement.
I don't have the language. But yes.
Can we just say mirroring the health
PBA
insurance
contract?
comments in the PBA contract?
You can say that.
Okay, so technically, is that an amended version?
Yeah, if you want to add a.
Okay, well, so you know what, we could,
Do you want me to make a motion? Well, we already made a motion now.
well, you can make a motion to amend it, and then we can adopt the amended version.
All right. Motion to amend to add a whereas statement that mirrors the language in the PBA contract about the offering but refusal of health benefits upon retirement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so now I have an amended motion 181. Oh, well, I got to vote on the amendment first. Okay, so this is a vote for just the amendment to add that whereas. So roll call for the amendment.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And then can I have a roll call, please, for 2026-81 as amended?
Committeeman Frederick.
Well, I appreciate all the work done. Again, to me, a 30% over the course of the 5 years is quite high, even though it does compensate for the retirement and get closer alignment as a whole with other towns. My response is no.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, so resolution 2026-82, can we build in the amendment to add that same whereas? Or do we have to introduce it and then?
It's the same way that you did the.
Okay, all right. So then can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2026-82?
Motion to adopt Resolution 2026-82.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any amendments?
I'd like to make a motion to amend Resolution 2026-82 to add in language mirroring the PBA contract with health benefits being offered upon retirement but ultimately refused during negotiations.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Okay, so then roll call for the amendment, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And then can I have a roll call, please, to adopt Resolution 2026-82 as amended?
Committeeman Frederick.
As same comment as in Resolution 2026-81, response is no.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And can I have a motion to approve the minutes of January 20th, regular meeting and executive meeting, and February 2nd, regular and executive meeting?
Motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any adjustments or corrections? I actually have one. And of course, I didn't write which one, but I'm going to guess it's the February 2nd meeting. In there, the minutes reflect that only 3 cannabis licenses are available. It needs to specify 3 Class 1. Yes, Class 1 licenses.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or corrections? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain February 2nd.
And can I have a motion to approve bills and purchase orders as submitted?
Motion to approve bills and POs as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick,
Yes, abstain all Verizon bills.
Committeewoman Minhas,
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.